Imagine a planet so close to its star that a single year lasts only one day on Earth. A world so hot that metal would melt on its surface. But the most terrifying part is this planet is slowly being eaten alive by its own star. Scientists say a planet like this should never exist, yet somehow it exists. And its name is WASP 12B. In the vast darkness of space, thousands of stars shine across our galaxy, and around many of those stars orbit planets we have never seen before. These distant worlds are known as exoplanets, planets that exist far beyond our own solar system. For decades, astronomers have searched the skies hoping to discover them, but finding a planet around another star is incredibly difficult. Most of these planets are too small and too far away to be seen directly. Instead, science watch the light from distant stars very carefully, because sometimes a tiny shadow passes in front of the star. When that happens, the star becomes ever so slightly dimmer for a short moment. This tiny dip in brightness reveals something incredible, a planet passing between its star and our telescope on Earth. In 2008, astronomers studying a star about 1,400 light years away noticed exactly this signal. At first, it seemed like just another distant planet orbiting its star. But when science calculated its orbit, they realized something was very wrong. The planet was orbiting its star unbelievably so close that one complete year on this world lasted just a little over one Earth day. And that discovery would reveal one of the most extreme planets ever found. So, why do science say it should not exist? After first glance, WASP 12B may seem like just another giant planet orbiting a distant star, but the more scientists studied it, the stranger it became. The first shocking discovery was its distance from the star. WASP 12B orbits unbelievably close, only about 3 million kilometers away. To understand how extreme that is, Mercury, the closest planet to our Sun, orbits nearly 58 million kilometers away. That means WASP 12B is almost 20 times closer to its star than Mercury is to the Sun. At such a small distance, the planet is bombarded by an enormous amount of radiation, and temperatures on this world reach more than 2,500 degrees Celsius. That is hot enough to melt any type of metal. The planet's atmosphere becomes so hot that it begins to glow, giving the entire world a deep red color, like a piece of burning coal. But the heat is only part of the problem, because at such extreme distance, the star's gravity begins to pull the planet apart. The powerful tidal forces stretch the planet's atmosphere outwards, slowly ripping huge amounts of gas away from the planet. In fact, astronomers believe that WASP 12B is slowly losing its atmosphere into space. Some of the gas is even being pulled directly into the star itself. In other words, this planet is literally being eaten by its own star. And under these conditions, many scientists believe a planet like WASP 12B should not survive for very long, yet somehow it still exists. So, actually, what would this impossible world look like? Imagine a giant planet nearly twice the size of Jupiter, floating dangerously close to a blazing star. The side of the planet facing the star is permanently exposed to intense radiation and heat. On this side, the atmosphere glows deep red and orange, heat to temperature of more than 2,500 degrees Celsius. The planet shines, a burning ember in darkness of space. Its thick atmosphere is filled with violently moving clouds of superheated gas. Massive storms rage across the planets, with winds traveling thousands of kilometers per hour. But unlike Earth, this world is tidally locked. That means one side of the planet always faces the star, while the other side remains in permanent darkness. The day side is blazing inferno, where the atmosphere glows from extreme hot. The night side, however, is much darker and cooler, creating enormous temperature differences across the planet. These extreme differences drive powerful atmospheric currents that push hot gases around the planet. Science believe these winds can reach speed of more than 5,000 kilometers per hour because the intense radiation from the nearby star, the planet's atmosphere, expands far into space. In fact, the outer layer of gas stretches outward like a giant glowing cloud surrounding the planet, and slowly this cloud of gas is being pulled away by the star's gravity. From a distance, the planet would appear as a glowing red world surrounded by a faint stream of escaping atmosphere, a world that looks more like a cosmic furnace than a planet. But what would happen if a human tried to visit this impossible world? The moment you approach the planet, the first thing you would notice is the star. From this distance, the star would appear enormous in the sky, many times larger and brighter than our sun appears from Earth. Its light would flood the planet with intense radiation and heat. As your spacecraft moved closer, the temperature outside would rise rapidly. On the day side of 12 WASP B, temperatures exceed 2500 degrees Celsius. This is hot enough to melt metal. Still, any ordinary spacecraft would quickly begin to overheat under these extreme conditions. But the danger does not stop there. WASP 12B is a gas giant similar to Jupiter. That means the planet has no solid surface you could land on. Instead, you would descend into a massive heated gases. As your spacecraft entered the atmosphere, violent winds would begin to shake the ship. Scientists estimate that winds on this planet could reach speed of more than 5,000 kilometers per hour. These storms would be far more powerful than anything ever recorded on Earth. The deeper you descend, pressure would increase dramatically. The atmosphere would grow thicker, hotter, and more turbulent. Eventually, the crushing pressure and extreme heat would destroy the spacecraft completely, long before reaching any deeper layers of the planet. In reality, no human and no machine we have today could survive the conditions on this world. WASP 12B, not a place that could ever support life. It is a planet shaped by extreme forces where heat, gravity, and radiation dominate everything. But the most shocking thing about WASP 12B is not its heat or its violent atmosphere. It's the fact that this planet is slowly disappearing. WASP 12B orbits incredibly close to its star. The star's gravity pulls the planet with enormous force. These powerful tidal forces stretch the planet's atmosphere far out into space. Instead of staying tightly wrapped around the planet, huge clouds of gas begin to escape its gravity. Astronomers have discovered that WASP 12B is actually losing its atmosphere. Massive streams of superheated gas flow away from the planet like a glowing tail. Some of this gas drifts out into space, but much of it is pulled directly toward the nearby star. In a sense, the star is slowly feeding on the planet. Every second, enormous amounts of gas are stripped away and absorbed by the planet's powerful gravity. Over millions of years, this process is slowly shrinking the planet. Science believe that one day, WASP 12B may lose so much of its atmosphere that it could eventually be completely destroyed. The planet that should not exist might also be a planet that will not survive. And what we are witnessing today may be the final stages of a world slowly being torn apart by its own star. WASP 12B may be one of the most extreme planets ever discovered. A world hotter than molten metal, orbiting so close to its star that a year lasts barely a single day. A planet slowly losing its atmosphere while its own star feeds on it. And yet, despite these impossible conditions, it still exists. but WASP 12B is only one of the thousands of strange worlds astronomers have discovered in our galaxy. Some planets rain molten glass, others drift through space without a star at all. The universe is far stranger and far more mysterious than we ever imagined. And somewhere out there, distant stars, there may be worlds even more unbelievably than this one. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment to this video so that YouTube can send it to more people who would like to learn about the universe. On this channel, we will dig more into space so that we learn more